a moment, because after the opening I really thought that white has a problem is in position, and I thought that black would be under pressure in that game. But here it looks
actually, sort of a crazy move like this, but it's probably bad. I mean, it's possible, and it's not even that stupid.
If it's legal or not, I mean.
Yeah, that. But if the applet allows to do it, it means it's legal. Yeah, because many times it wouldn't be legal. Rook h4, I'm actually very happy with. I take the knight, but queen g4, I don't really like. Queen knight f3 is knight f3 is a very annoying threat.
d4 also possible, maybe.
d4 was the move as well. Yeah.
Also possible.
Rook c3 played by Matlakov, so he's entering this position, it seems, d5, unless we miss some big move here, which is not clear to me.
We can easily miss something here, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, queen e5 would have been nice, right? Rook takes, rook f3, bishop e5, extra piece, but it's mate in one. That's a bit sad. Rook f3, knight takes on f3 with a check.
Yes.
Ah, wait. Knight takes on f3 with a check. I go here. Ah, no. Yeah, for some reason I thought like I have material. No,
it's just, you still same 2 pawns up there, so. And even you still have your move. It's hard to say after d takes e4.
d4, what he wants, it remains a mystery.
Knight h5. But also down this.
Because
queen h1.
Queen h1 with a check, yeah. Yeah, so this is the line. So he will take on f3, play this, and hope to survive. Ah, no, wait, after that, maybe this is a... No, then e4 is alive, yeah? I mean, maybe this one is kind of closer to a draw. Like I take e4, take on f3. No, I mean I'm still pawns. I mean 2 pawns.
2 pawns, yeah.
2 pawns.
We can't say that it's close.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not close to. Maybe though, rook c1. Try. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
okay, but anyway,
I'm fighting for a draw. Yeah, absolutely.
White is fighting. We can't say that it's an easy draw.
Yeah.
I mean, white has reasonable chances to save, but nothing more. So. Okay, then maybe we can check the other games.
Yeah, we can check Fedoseev.
Yes, because the leaders are playing and it's the most interesting game.
A lot of stuff has happened. Fedoseev is winning material. I don't know. What was the last time you've seen this one? Because I mean, it's a lot of stuff happened.
We made a break
after King E7. I've seen.
And I saw that after Castle, I was expecting Rook
D8. Yeah, that's precisely what I thought.
To happen if Rook D1, then King E8. Yeah.
Man, I couldn't make it work for white. I mean,
it's passive. Of course, it's passive, and I can understand Dubov why he doesn't like it, but sometimes maybe you need to suffer.
Isn't he just get the pawn back because E5's hanging, B2's hanging?
Yes, something is hanging, but also he has lots of weaknesses and some hidden tactics here, so probably he will not get something easy back, but that was maybe the toughest way to
maybe
play.
like E6 takes and then some move, and then you're pinned in many ways.
Yes,
maybe that's
pinned in many ways, yes. But anyway, I thought maybe you can try to suffer like this, because if white doesn't have something direct, then maybe you can try to handle this. And especially maybe g5 coming sometimes if you push, stop, and then let's hope that material is pretty limited. And okay, but this king e6 looks really asking for.
No, I mean he probably really blunders the very next move because bishop d4 was played. Yeah, he probably just blundered this one. Yeah. It wasn't a motive, and then he played king e6 and. Yeah, because of this.
Probably he missed it, yeah. Yes, and then he has
d4, rook b8, and rook d7. Here, if he takes on d4...
I believe a check, king
rook d6, yeah, that's still... Yeah, rook d6 probably, king e7, a knight takes d4,
then
black
bishop takes e5.
Black has bishop e5.
And then it's knight d5, bishop d6.
Wait a sec. Black has rook e5 as well. Maybe. Maybe rook.
Yes, rook e5. So maybe
rook
just
a6 and knight c6.
Yeah.
So it looks knight d4. This line knight d4, bishop e5 looks like.
Because if here the fork on c6 is.
It's like family fork, they say. Yeah. It's a triple.
Yeah.
Triple fork on c6. So bishop e5.
This, maybe if he takes here, then it's just
rook
a pawn up.
Pawn up.
Yeah. But okay.
Rather draw than anything else, right? The pawn is still on b2.
Still b2, rook b1, rook b3, and sort of this, yeah. But why no other idea for white probably here?
Yeah, so maybe he could take on d4. So that probably means that he finds this position to be...
No, also white can take rook take d4 also here.
cd4, rook d4. And if bishop takes e5... Because I always thought this 4 rooks endgame, I mean, if you end up exchanging on e5, that it's very close to a draw. And yeah, rook e1, I can actually go king f6. Once again, it's probably holdable. That could possibly mean that he's fine with this position. So I don't really believe that he didn't consider taking, right? So
I know, probably as we thought, he is trying to play this, yeah.
f6. So that if bishop takes, he's going to take b2 and then try to play, maybe in b1, exchange the rooks to try to push the c pawn. Maybe he's
b1,
right.
king e6, and then to push c pawn.
Maybe he's right.
Okay, but anyway, black is still fighting for the draw here. That's also, but.
I just wonder if g5 makes sense or it's too much.
g5, maybe h4 just.
g5, h4, right.
Because if you take, I can go bishop c1.
Yeah, now will not be in time to take the pawn. So rook b2.
Yeah, normally he has to take. Yes.
Rook b2 is needed.
Here, I don't know. There is bishop e3, some solid move. Just to stand.
Yeah, actually, bishop e3 is unpleasant. Because I thought c4, but then somehow knight d4 and...
c4, knight d4, and then this pawn will stay alive, and yeah. It will change a lot.
Yeah, but what else can I do? I am not sure really. I'm not sure really. Like rook 8 to b5 or...
Because this rook c2 is possible, this is passive. Because you lose this idea of trading rooks. Because you need to trade and you need to take and bring the king to d5, and then it's maybe close to the draw. But
yeah, with rook
this because if you're losing some time with rook b5. I don't know, I can make some useful move here, then maybe some rook c1 or sort of this.
Yeah, so it's tough. It's tough for Dubov. And bishop e3 is on the board.
Yeah, so bishop e3, now he has to take some important decision, yes. c4 tempting, but knight d4 is really unpleasant. Yeah.
And wait a sec. And maybe this.
Yes, but this pawn still remaining on the board, and
even some bishop c1, bishop a3 starts. No, bishop c1, rook a2, right? It's really strange position. I mean, I want to play rook b1 in exchange, right? That's what Black's next move is going to be.
Yes, g4 also some idea.
g4, say rook b1, and then just take, yeah? I know.
Take king g2, or maybe just to go some other move.
Well, so actually, I would rather
but
let white to take, huh?
I thought that knight e5 is possible. No, knight e5 also makes you draw here, because takes g5, rook b5. Yeah.
I think one game has finished. It's a draw for Malakhov and Vitigov. I don't know what was going on there. At some point, it actually seemed a bit interesting, but not really. Yeah.
It was pretty solid play from both of the players.
Yeah, and starting from move 6, you can guess that White is not planning to take any risk. c3, and
okay, if White is not really ambitious on the move 6, it doesn't mean that he is not ambitious at all. But okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I mean, I thought he's kind of getting somewhere around this moment, because it's a rare case when you can actually get not a symmetrical position, a symmetrical Grunfeld.
Yeah.
Every now and again, you just take on d5. He takes back with the pawn.
Around this point, actually, after move 15, I thought that this position is pretty playable for White. But I'm not sure that if I would try to play this with White then my next move would be changing the knight from the knight on c4, because okay, in some sense he's a strong piece, but on the other hand he's hanging in different lines, and basically if white wants to play, he needs to keep his knight probably alive and maybe just try to jump. Okay, maybe he doesn't find some good way to make it, because what he did in the game, he just changed
G2 exchanges
everything,
yeah,
and after this,
H.
okay, the only way was to play some bishop h1. I mean, so because allowing to change bishops is extremely unambitious. So maybe bishop h1 and just to make sure that maybe rook b1 and just to press on the b file.
To try, yes.
Just try to play. Of course, this bishop on h3 is pretty annoying. Okay, I can understand this. It's quite annoying bishop, but once you play this,
it's just like a handshake. Yeah, I mean, it's really black has to blunder something in one move in order to
it's
lose.
basically
I mean,
black is solid, and this white is literally have some center, but the center is without any special meaning here. So. Next happened more exchanges, more exchanges. Okay, rook d8, exchange more pieces, and this is okay. And then
this is just
some simplification.
Just a way to make a draw.
Yes, and they just killed the whole board. Yeah. Yes, and then it was some draw. He agreed. Okay.
Okay, Dubov is still thinking in the position we've seen after bishop e3. So one game is finished. Volkov, to my surprise, didn't take on e4, so he found another move, which I assume is better than or he think is better than d4. Queen g4, another greedy move. So he wants to give a check and win an exchange. So he's that comfortable in this position. Because subconsciously I was still looking for a way to exchange the queens. I mean, I used to the thought that black's position is bad, is dangerous, I have to trade pieces, but...
And if knight h5, then probably just take on e4, eh? Or not?
Yeah, that's a question actually. What happens? Because no, I mean, he can give...
Okay, he check, okay, I take, he still...
Takes, knight comes back to g3, right? And then d4.
Oh, okay.
Maybe this is the...
maybe this idea.
Maybe this is the idea. Because after queen f3, this hanging with the check, and then the knight is hanging, right?
Too many things are hanging, eh?
Yeah, all of a sudden this bishop on f8 is a good guy. I mean, he protects the king. And not that there is any other attractive move for white. I'm guessing if I want to, I mean, if there is nothing else, maybe I want to do this. I'm kind of trying to get this, the same structure at least. Not sure if black takes.
Rook h4 is also possible.
A rook h4 and then to take on h1. Yeah, just
rook h4.
Yeah, rook h4 just takes more material. I think white is in trouble. All of a sudden, I mean, after such a nice... But this is, I mean, something happens to Matlakov, because if we remember his game with Fedoseev, where he got, he got very attractive position from the opening. I can imagine you're not winning this position, but how do you lose? And then he lost, like, very easy. There are other games here. Swidler. Have you seen this one? Sugirov versus Swidler? Because, again, the game is developing in a very strange fashion, because I was really surprised to see Swidler having like half an hour here in this position he's had seen, I don't know, 1,000 times maybe. So he was probably looking for some line which, I don't know, keeps the queens on the board, keeps the game a bit more
or maybe he
complex,
or expect this line to happen today. And so he was trying to remember.
I think this endgame is kinda known.
Yeah.
Knight a6. Now, recently they were... Is it the line when they were taking? I thought it was like some games of Inner Kiev, or maybe I'm confusing.
No,
it could have been
without pawn on g2, yes. It's without pawn on g2, with a pawn on b3 for white. And
yeah, that's the one. That's the one. It's
But here maybe, okay, bishop b6 looks not very ambitious.
Bishop to d7, castles, rook a c8. Ah, that's the one when they allow to take on g2 and go queen f3, and this is how they get the endgame, yeah? Bishop e3, knight here, rook takes, bishop takes. This happen, rook c1 happen, bishop a6, exchange, g4, f5, and knight to g5. Kind of worried about Swedler's position because the knight got stuck on a6, and I don't see how he's, I mean, how he is losing in this line, but the feeling is like he is losing. Rook d5, I mean, check, yes, king f7, check. Knight g5, or no, g5, yeah, king goes here.
Rook c6.
Ah, this is how he, this is how he loses, right?
Yeah.
Rook c6 with...
And it's just over, yeah. Then knight e4.
Knight e4, yeah.
And white wins.
What's the material in the... Yeah, well, one pawn, yeah, should be completely winning.
Yeah.
Should be completely winning. Okay, anyway, fe4 was played. Knight e6 is on the board, so if he can't take d5...
Very dangerous position for black, yeah. They're saying,
I mean, this knight is the monster. I mean,
yes, if you need to suffer and to go with the rook on a passive place, then of course it doesn't matter the temporary you pawn up, but all your other pieces are so passive. So white need to watch out for knight b4, just not to allow this activation. Maybe rook c4, with idea maybe rook f4.
c4 it looks nice, yes. Not to take, but to go to a4,
yes, right? Maybe to go rook f4 and just to stop the knight for a moment. Okay, still black maybe tries to go some knight c5 just to give some material back and to simplify.
Maybe, no, this one...
b5.
Yeah, the knight is stuck.
b5
yeah,
I can
b5
even take
you
on
take
e4
and
then it's basically,
yeah, the knight is
you
stuck.
don't have any nice moves, so yes. Anyway, this is very tough endgame for black. So Peter must be wrong at some point b4.
So one more time, is there any chance that black will
survive here after rook g5?
I mean, it's like rook g5 takes now.
But it's a play for 2 results. I mean, so of course it's going to be a long fight.
Or maybe for one. Maybe for one result.
Okay, but if you will, I
don't see the way to stabilize.
You don't need to stabilize. You just need to eat the a pawn and to give a and b pawn for that, and then try to just to defend the 4 against.
No, I mean stabilizing maybe like this, strangely enough, to get it on d6, because knight b4 I don't really see what it does. Go here, and I kind of lose e7, and then it's hopeless. So maybe
but anyway,
this is very sad. I mean, if it happens, it's very sad. He played rook a8.
Yes.
So he played rook a8.
Probably the most logical move.
Yeah, anticipating this line with rook c4, rook a4, so that at least the pawn on a7 will be protected.
He's defending pawn, and maybe he will try to push pawns if he'll have some first chance for that. Anyway, we still have the endgame and not so much material left, but optically it looks like that black is under pressure. But maybe if rook c4, he can try maybe some bishop e5, maybe here, no?
To put it on dc. Yeah, that might be a nice idea, then maybe, right?
Yes, I thought that, yes.
Rook a4.
If rook a4, then maybe knight c7 to go.
Yeah, here it's knight c7.
Because the pawn on d5 is hanging.
Yeah, and somehow I can't really take the one on b6, yes?
Yeah. Because if he change one this side, then it will be much easier for
yeah, but then, look, then I take this one maybe, then it might be still unpleasant. Or not. You take, probably?
Yes,
take, go back to c7, yeah, and this is how you survive.
Yes. Bishop g5,
Bishop g5.
Rook e8.
Rook e8. Yeah, it's still not very pleasant one.
No,
even though you're alive, yeah, the knight d5, yeah, maybe it's not.
But it looks
nothing special. King f7,
King f7 next move.
And if rook takes here first, then it's bishop d6, and you want to play knight b4 or knight.
Maybe knight b4.
Okay, knight b4 to start with, and then
to have some jumps, yeah.
Yeah, it's like. He needs to, first of all, I mean, to make sure this knight enters the game, yeah? With knight on a6, it's really tough.
Well, maybe it looks optically unpleasant, but I think maybe with the precise plays it's holdable for black, I think.
Yeah,
because okay, 96 is dominant, but it would be nice to have more pieces on board. Yeah.
Knowing how tricky those Grunfeld players are, so I can imagine some line like this working, like bishop c3, he wants to play knight b4, and then if a3 he plays b4.
No, but this b5 makes lots of weaknesses. Some knight c7 will later come. So
yeah, so when knight c3
sort of
it will knight c7, yeah, b5.
b5 weakens, so I'm not so sure. Yes. This
bishop
bringing back here. Yes, bishop 5 looks okay. Yeah.
So bishop
e5, bishop on d6 looks okay, and then you have knight c5, knight c7, knight b4, depending on the situation. So still, I mean, black is under pressure, but
maybe he saves. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be okay. The time is approximately equal, so okay.
Yeah. So let's check the ladies' round. Let's check women's tournament. Let's see what's going on. I mean, there've been some really funny games,
especially this Bodnaruk I think,
against Gritseva. Yeah,
some open fight from the move, almost from the move 7. Yeah, after e5 knight g4 they entered this very old line,
bishop f4.
But bishop f4 now, I think nowadays people becoming more lazy, more practical, and they used to play, I think, instead of bishop f4, normally white plays something like bishop g2, just hoping to get a very slight but stable advantage after exchanging pawns on e5 and d5. White is normally trying to take on e7 at some point later, and just to claim the bishop pair and very safe position. This bishop f4 was a little bit popular line back like about 15 years ago. And this g5 was considered to be one of the critical replies. e6, h5. I think I remember some games with taken on f7 and bishop e3, and they normally were extremely messy. This h3 I think was also a theoretical move, and I'm not sure about knight f2 here, because knight f2 looks very tempting, but of course I cannot remember the exact evaluation of this line. Okay, this looks absolutely dangerous for black. This after king f7.
Well, I was
knight f5.
Yeah. This I thought was bad. I wasn't sure if she could not play something like knight h6. Strangely enough, when the knight is attacked. I mean, if I'm allowed to look at this position, could she? I mean, or it's just bad.
It looks very strange.
Bishop e5, yeah.
It looks strange move to go back. No,
normally, I mean, I'm expecting white to take. I'll take
normally
on
you have to accept and you have to fight.
Yeah. So knight f2 maybe.
Maybe knight f2, maybe some other move, or maybe what she played actually. But this exact position looks absolutely scary for black. Okay, bishop f6 maybe okay. She tries to stabilize. White of course has different options. Taking on d5 is also an option. Okay, bishop g2. So now she simplified.
Knight c6, but
this looks of course pretty horrible. But she hopes that if she changes queens on d5, then king f6, and if white will take more pawns, then some h pawn will be a pass pawn in the endgame. Okay, white is of course taken here.
King f6, king what f6. A move! Yeah, you have to make an active move, and then it's
not kind of active, but she just moving from the taking on d5 with a check. White took on here,
check, intermediate check, very important. This, queen d5. No, I mean it's completely lost.
Queen d5. Now rook e1 is a threat. This queen f3, queen e5, g4,
rook
e1. And rook d1
and king g5 was the last move that I can see.
King g5. Black is fighting like a lion, yeah?
Yeah.
Like using all the imagination, all the power and everything, but objectively should be lost, of course. So white is safely 2 pawns up, and knight on c6 is unfortunately out of play. And most of the endgames are also lost for black, so it looks like it should be probably winning for white, but white still needs to be accurate.
Yeah, white still needs
because
to
this
be...
king on g5, sometimes from the weak piece, it can be a good piece.
No, I mean,
especially if it comes to some endgames, yeah?
No, I'm thinking, I mean, king is strangely enough is safe, right? So that mean maybe, I mean,
not
relative
100%, but
of course not
because if I just go some bishop h3 king g2, I mean, it's possible to play this and it's maybe safe, but then this bishop on h3 is completely passive, and in some endgames, black still can try to put some blockade and then maybe jump and activate the rook. So, but objectively, of course, it should be into the white's favor.
And yeah, and this is the position we have to check. Yeah, this is I don't really understand what's going on.
And the leader of the tournament, I think I went about this point when she pushed e5. And okay, e5 is normally, of course, slightly dangerous when you have this opposition rook d1 to your queen on d8. But tactically, sometimes it can be justified. So, I mean, it should be very, very precise calculation from the black side to make sure that white will not benefit from having rook on d1. So, okay, let's see. So, exchange, change e4, it's logical. Now knight c4 doesn't work, I guess, because take on g2, and this is into the black's favor. Knight h4. Knight b6. Okay, so she went into this principal line for white because she just wants to grab as much material as possible, but at the same time, of course, knight on h4 is ugly placed for a moment. Knight f4 should be done probably. Bishop g4.
This is precisely what I would try to avoid entering against Gunina, because I mean, if there is some
you should not be afraid of Gunina. You have to just to play chess. I mean, so if it's the best way, then okay.
Yeah, but there were alternatives for white, which I thought were
but
safe.
She wants to punish probably. She wants to prove that okay, it's absolutely insufficient play. Because now what? She has to sacrifice something more. Otherwise, black will.
I mean, if knight f6, then it's just g5 and,
but then it's completely
material and everything.
Two pieces attack.
No material, no position. Yeah.
Yes. No. She needs to put more oil into the fire. Yeah? Okay. So exchange.
Bishop takes. Knight
yes. Now
takes.
okay. We cannot be sure that this attack is so strong for black because they simply doesn't have so many pieces attacking white. So okay, let's say if white will just go. Let's say knight
f5 is a move.
Why not to go?
Perhaps.
What will be rook e2 or what? Rook e2, we go.
Sure, yeah.
If knight e2, okay, I just go
king f2, right?
King, I don't know where.
Yeah, that's the question. I think g6 next move. I mean, this is. I mean, it's not the move I'm happy to play, but I have to get rid of this knight on f5.
Yeah, probably that's the point. Yes.
Knight f3. That's a bit passive.
Decided to be cautious, yeah, and
knight f3 is a bit passive because now, for instance, black can, I mean, play some rook e2, knight d5. I'm not threatening anything on the other hand. Yeah, it's like I was. Yeah, maybe it's just fine.
If you can take the pawn on g4, it can be some achievement for black. But let's say if you go on queen d7, you need also to reckon with knight e5. It's not clear, yes, because knight e5 looks like a clear tempo for white.
Well,
if check, you go here, then maybe knight d5.
Maybe. Can I do this to give a check? So that I want to play rook c8. I mean, just to win the tempo with rook c8 in the right moment. So,
yes,
yeah, knight e2.
Now it's also a big question actually where
the king is going. Yeah.
Because king on f1 it can run under more checks. King on f2 can run under check on
e2
h4 or potentially c2 e2. And h file is just optically looks dangerous.
Yeah, I mean this is what you don't
to put the king on a h file optically looks dangerous. I mean maybe computer-wise it's okay, but optically human will choose between f2 and f1.
So normally, yeah, okay. Let's just make one move, king f2, for instance, yeah, and then say rook c8.
Because here you also have some ideas like queen d6, maybe jump. With some queen g3, and if white goes knight e5, then maybe some knight d4 or some other ideas.
Yeah, so I can see black having. I mean, it's very easy to confuse something in a time through rook c8. Now, if capture on e2, I believe it's good. Yeah,
it's a fight. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Queen d3, and then even knight takes d5. Even knight takes d5. So it will be, well, it's only one pawn, but still.
Queen b3 slightly far away. This looks impossible, but also strange. Okay, queen
d3 and yeah, and even knight takes. Yes.
So maybe some rook e1 we can play, no?
Ah, yeah, there is rook e1. Yeah, knight f4. I exchanged too many things.
Yes, change. Queen d2.
Exchange too many things. No, the knight d5 is not energetic enough.
Before you have some move here, but
another
more jumps coming.
More jumps with rook c2.
Yes, and then try to make some rook c2 work. But objectively looks slightly dubious for black this sort of play. But anyway, I don't believe in this sacrifice. I'm sure that with a precise play from white, it should be insufficient for black. Because knight on b6 is far away, white has two bishop and not so many pieces involved in the attack. I still think that knight e5 should be more principal move. Okay, here knight e2, and she's probably thinking, yes?
She's thinking now, yeah. She's thinking now. Because yeah, maybe if
she will get into the time trouble, then it's completely open affair. So black will have lots of practical chances.
Oh, but it's lot of tricks, yes.
She will keep the time, and then this may be quite okay. So.
Alright, so we are getting to an end of third hour, so let's quickly check this game once again. Fedoseev and Dubov. Does Daniil does he have any chance to save? That's what happened. Rook c8, rook c8, then rook to e1.
Now it makes no logic, because now he pushed c4. Okay, maybe he thought that rook c8 is anyway useful, yeah?
Yeah, so c4, now for instance, he doesn't care anymore about knight d4, right?
Yeah, just to push.
Knight h4, c3.
Yeah.
That's brave. Bishop c1, king e8. Knight takes g6, rook d8. It's like a great deal of speculating, right? I mean, you can never take, blah blah, but as long as it's a c pawn, not a b pawn, I cannot see how it will be promoted. Well, white has so many extra guys so that even, passively defending, blocking c1. I don't really see how.
In general, it looks bad for black.
Yeah, it should be just bad.
Very hard to believe that only this one c pawn will create enough counterplay. Also, this h4, h5 is extremely.
Well, actually, yeah. If he can keep the knight on g6, he just needs to. Simply needs to move the h pawn.
Yeah.
So that's bad. So Fedoseev will be back on track, huh?
If he goes rook b1, maybe with just c2, and then maybe. But even c2, king e2. Still maybe nothing else.
h4, c2, king e2, right, and then
rook d6, knight f4, maybe.
d6, knight f4. It's
white is pretty safe. It looks like
stable completely.
Yeah,
so some tactical chances here, there, but
yes, of course, with the pawn c2 and these two rooks, it's always some practical chances for black. But objectively should be lost. Yes. Or he plays some rook b4, so he tries to confuse.
Rook b4. So it's like c2, and to have king e2, he can still do this. He can still play, right? And Fedoseev goes knight e7. Rather quickly. Not the most obvious move. Sometimes these guys, they impress me in the way they see the position, because it's not the first move you're looking, not the second one. Knight e7. Threatening knight c6 if you pass. You don't have the way to pass. Well, actually, what about that? What about that? So let's say rook d.
Rook d4. Rook c1.
C1.
Yes, why not? Rook c1. Rook b1 is also possible. Rook c1 is also.
Yeah, but rook b1. And now I realized. It's a queen. I take, and then it's one more pin. It's one more pin. So yeah, rook b4 and bishop a3. Yeah, rook c1 was absolutely...
Even if you're completely lazy, you can go rook c1,
yeah,
then take, and then take on c3.
Rook c1 and you end up being 2 pawns up in the endgame, the rook endgame. Rook b5, so Daniil still tries to find some chances, basically fighting against this
maybe
knight.
Knight g8, no?
Knight g8, yeah, well, I mean, it would have been logical. I mean, you go knight e7 then...
to grab some more pawns then?
Knight g8, yeah, and yeah. In Search of Harmony, that was the name of, you know, Smyslov's book, right? Knight g8 and g4 looks very harmonious. Yes, knight g8 played. Knight g8 played. We think Fedoseev is winning, even with those very strange moves. And yeah, let's wait for one more move because c2 comes pretty quickly. I thought we have to go for a break, but knight f6 check, or is no. Knight f6 check, king e7. So now it's rook d1, right? Or it's nothing at all. Should be winning. It's like this.
With rook d1.
This.
And
this.
c3.
Rook b1, or is this possible? I mean, I don't understand what's the... knight e2. Knight e2 and just... or a2. Or a2. Okay, so Fedoseev is winning. He will be back in the lead. I think, yeah, once again will be the sole leader. Vitigo makes a draw and the other leader will lose to Fedoseev. I think it's a break. It's a good time to make a break before the time control stage.
It's the most crazy game.
Matlakov-Volkov to check. Well, it's still in progress
so
now.
He played your move, queen d1, rook h4, take, ed5.
ed5.
ed5, okay.
Rook e3, knight g4, rook f3, knight f6. 2 pawns up. That's more or less the evaluation here. 2 pawns up. Okay, so I think we go for just a quick break and
set procedure for white. Yes.
Yeah. Has to find from very good position to this one. We'll be back, people. Stay tuned. After 10 minutes, the most exciting stage, the time trouble stage of round 8 is in front of us.
федеральная сетевая компания ЕНС Россия стала надежным партнером бизнеса и государства в реализации ключевых проектов в реальном секторе экономики. Повышение эффективности деятельности, сокращение издержек – это естественная задача для менеджмента компании, независимо от внешней конъюнктуры. Благодаря этой работе наша компания стала более финансово устойчива, высвободились средства для реконструкции и развития электросетей, для выплаты дивидендов акционерам.
This is Houston, contact with a test 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end of test.
Государственный музей политической истории России был основан в 1919 году. Это был первый историко-революционный музей в стране. С 1955 года музей находится в двух особняках на Петроградской стороне в Санкт-Петербурге. Это архитектурные памятники в стиле модерн. Особняк балерины Матильды Кшесинской и особняк барона Василия Бранта. В 1917 году особняк Кшесинской оказался в центре революционных событий. 92 дня здесь находился рабочий кабинет Ленина, штаб партии большевиков. С балкона особняка произносили речи вождей революции.
Революция близится, нарастает везде.
Сегодня музей рассказывает о переломных событиях двухвековой российской истории, о смене политических режимов, войнах, революциях и реформах, изменивших судьбу нашей страны. Герои экспозиции – цари и простые люди, партийные лидеры и деятели культуры, вершители судеб и жертвы террора. О политической истории России говорят и в филиалах музея, как со взрослыми, так и с детьми. Современный, открытый, живой музей – таким он предстает посетителям.
Grandmaster from Saratov is one of the most erudite modern players. His colleagues often call him a scientist. Tomaszewski performed very good in the previous Grand Prix series, but had to skip the Superfinal. This year he returns with serious ambitions. With great opening preparation, sound positional understanding and fantastic endgame technique, Evgeny is definitely one of the tournament's favorites. It's impossible to imagine Superfinal without Peter Svidler. St. Petersburg native is the holder of an incredible record, 7 gold medals in the national championships. Svidler himself tells with a smile that he doesn't know the reason for his such strong play in the Russian championships, but it doesn't help his rivals. Playing at his home grounds, Svidler is capable of another success. Just before the Superfinal, Nikita Vityugov took silver at the European Team Championship with the Russian team and an individual gold on his board. The Grandmaster from St. Petersburg used to qualify for the final of the Russian Championship from higher league, but this time he got his place for previous achievements. There is no doubt that Vityugov is one of the favorites of the tournament. In the last years, more and more peaks are conquered by Ernesto Inarkiev. He lost a match to Boris Gelfand in 2016, but the next year Inarkiev was much better prepared to the battle with the World Championship challenger and gained a strong-willed victory. He had a great experience fighting in the last Grand Prix series and enters the Superfinal as one of the favorites. Regularly helping Russian women's team to get gold at Olympiads, World and European Championships, one of the team's main coaches doesn't forget about his own achievements. In the last season, Alexander won in the Superfinal, became European Rapid Champion and was first in a few more tournaments. Participation in the 2017 Grand Prix Series gained results of more fans, who impatiently wait for a new victory. Daniil Dubov first reclaimed his place as one of the strongest young players in Russia after Higher League 2012 and World Cup 2013. A few years passed and the Moscow player entered the Russian national team and got silver at the European Team Championship. Besides that, Daniil won the Superfinal qualifier. Traditionally, the Higher League winner performs very successfully at the final of the championship. Volkov's success was the biggest surprise of the qualifier in Sochi. Before his achievement in the higher league, he was victorious at the Alekhin Memorial in Voronezh, proving once again that experience is the most important factor. Recently, Volkov gained a lot of rating and holds these numbers. Sergei is one of those who managed to win in the Russian Championship, although his success is dated with year 2000. One of the strongest players of his generation stopped participating in higher leagues in 2008. This didn't prevent him from playing a huge role in 2010 Superfinal, to which he qualified by rating. Back then, Malakhov won against Sergei Karyakin in the last round and did not let the future World Championship challenger become a Russian champion. These days, Vladimir does not play in individual tournaments too often, preferring team competitions. However, the 2010 experience shows that Malakhov can say a last word in the encounter with players of any level. 2017 is a key year in Matlakov's career. The title of European champion, success at the higher league, silver medals at the World and European Team Championships, these achievements made Maxim one of the best players in the world. In one of his interviews, Maxim underlined that he owes his successes to collaboration with Daniil Dubov. In this regard, the Superfinal should be good for Matlakov because his sparring partner also comes to St. Petersburg to fight for medals. Sanan Sugirov qualified for the main tournament of the Russian calendar many times. Besides, he did it in a very young age. Sanan won against Grandis but did not manage to get the medals yet. Recently, Sugirov shows stably high results in the tournaments and his rating is close to the numbers of elite grandmasters. Collaboration with players and coaches from Samara allowed Sugirov to make a new step in his career, and now he is at the verge of new big achievements. Vladimir Fedoseev is one of the most talented players of his generation. In 2017 he achieved major successes and is close to become an elite grandmaster. He won Aeroflot Open, was second in Dortmund, crossed 2700 rating mark, entered Russian national team. In 2016, Fedoseev fought for the gold in the Superfinal until the very end, and in his native St. Petersburg he will definitely give it another try. Evgeny Romanov lived and worked in Norway for some time, training Scandinavian juniors. In his young age, Romanov is already considered to be a successful coach, working with many famous players. However, his immersion in coaching activities doesn't stop Romanov from showing results at the board and holding a solid rating. Back in Russia, Kaliningrad native quickly achieved new sportive goals. He confidently qualified for the Superfinal at the higher league in Sochi and showed that he is ready to oppose the strongest players of the country.
So we are back to cover round number 8, and we are tuning in the moment where the time trouble, in the time trouble stage. In many games we still have, they still have to reach move 14, and players experience some time deficit. And we were informed.
Maybe we can check the games which we were simply missing. Let's say this one in Arteev versus Ryazantsev.
From first board, yeah.
Yeah, just to see more different games. Yes, not to focus only on one or two games. Yeah, this is a long, well-known theoretical line. Yes, and ended up in approximately equal endgame.
About move 20, I think it's yes. Still kind of a theory.
It's still kind of a theory. Yes, I'm not a very good theoretician to tell you exactly what was the last theoretical move and who was first to deviate. But this position after King E2 F4 looks about equal to me. Yes, because okay, White has this idea of eating pawn on A5 and having the pass pawn on A2, but Black is enjoying nice and strong position of the knight, and the king can be slightly more active. So it should be basically balanced. Okay, let's see what happened next.
Yeah, at some point, okay, he has taken the pawn on A5.
Yes, King D6.
King D6.
Rook A4 just.
Rook A4. Rook E8.
A very calm move for Rook A4, yeah? Because if G5, he probably wants to take on H7, yeah?
Yeah. Rook E8. Bishop B5, Rook E7, Rook A8. Yeah, that's impressive. He's standing under this discovered check, but there is nothing. Yes. G5, check, and he exchanges the rooks. Rook here, A4, Knight C6, check. And then you have to take on E6.
The pawn endgame is still okay, yeah?
Probably, because white just played c3 and black, after some thought, he played e5. So he's fine with this pawn hanging. And he'll probably play e4 and just have the protected passed pawn. And who is better and why? Not quite sure. Well, h4 was played. When someone plays h4, I'm actually always... I mean, first things in this, what happens if we take? Yes.
Yes, a pawn is still a pawn, yeah. Even if it's a double pawn, yeah.
It's not yet clear to me what happens if black takes.
Maybe king f3, king g4.
King f3 and then say h5. Yes. I mean, yeah, white also doesn't have all that many moves. Because now king e2 is kind of sad. Bishop c6.
And he really played h4, yeah?
Yeah, h4 is on the board. H4 is on the board.
Looks very strange.
So really,
maybe for some endgames, I mean, it has some idea. I guess.
Takes. But, I mean, I'm not yet sure if he's not risking.
If he wants to attack pawn on f4, let's imagine, but how? Huh?
Not clear.
Otherwise, I don't see. I don't see the point of it.
Yeah, I mean, if f3, you could go f3 immediately,
no,
right?
F3
I
with combination of f4 is something ridiculous.
The move itself is not that great. Yes, and then
yes. But I can really start to jump with a knight.
Like this. Maybe I have this move, strangely enough. Which is a little bit hard to believe, but... With the idea to go bishop g6, yes, and this I assume will be... I mean, most likely a draw. I don't believe white is playing for a win here, but... Feels like he will be...
No, white is safe
here. Be in time to...
No, white is safe, but I mean, black is not forced to go e4. I mean, why? Why we need to go e4 here for black?
Because I mean, I thought some bishop g6 is
king c4.
King c4, king c3. So black can actually start
jumping
the knight, yeah, like knight here. And maybe knight c4.
Or knight b3 and then to activate the knight.
Yeah.
I don't see any progress for white basically, so...
Yeah, so it's a little bit strange, this move, yeah.
h4 is a very, very strange move to me, to my understanding of chess. I'm not sure that I would even consider such a move from the white side. Of course, Ernesto has a very unique chess style. He's a very gifted player, and sometimes he's seeing very hidden resources. But this h4 looks very strange to me. So
yeah, I mean, it's like if I will play h6, then I kind of can understand what happens.
Yeah, he wants to activate the king. Yeah,
and I'm yet to understand what happens after. Well, after this, maybe g3, maybe that's.
I think maybe some game finished, no? Because he's putting pieces. No?
Yeah. I think
maybe some game finished.
Something has finished in the men's section. Peter Svidler makes a draw against Sugirov.
So probably that was the game, yeah.
Yeah, and the pawn on h4 is taken. Pawn on h4 is taken, and we are yet to understand.
And Ernesto started to think again.
Yeah, that's interesting. You play h4, you give the pawn, then you start thinking.
Yes, in the endgame you're giving up a pawn, and then after the most simple reply you started to think again, yeah? But what you was expecting black to do?
It's not...
I think it's the first impulse, yeah? Just what will happen if I take, yeah?
If I just take, yeah.
Actually, obviously the first move you are normally considering, yes.
Okay, then we have, just quickly to check the games, we have this Tomaszewski against Romanov, which still looks like, I mean, not a draw, let's say, but...
Okay, now it looks slightly better for white, I think. Because black doesn't have any play at all, and white can maybe try to squeeze a bit, but...
I mean, it's like... It might be depending on this, let's say, evaluation of this. If white has any chance to win this position, Because I do have a weakness, right, to speculate on, and then potentially f3.
Taking g4 and maybe h4 will go,
if black takes, yes, then g4, h5. Like
yes.
In my dream, I have to.
It can be actually quite tricky for black. It looks simple, but I'm not sure. I think black will suffer here. So.
Yeah, but it's move 38. It's not that sharp, let's say. So this one we can let go and see it after the time trouble, right? Then Volkov against Matlakov. I'm kinda impressed that it's still in progress, because I thought Matlakov was in a really bad spot. Meanwhile, Galyamova and Gunina finished.
I think they made the draw by Perpetual. It looked like so.
Let's see.
And here?
Let's see. I don't really see what's going on.
Is it over? No.
Gunina.
No.
Well.
But
here, Matlakov, Volkov, Bishop B4, King F1, check takes. Yes.
I mean, do he has any ideas?
Check on B7 in this moment, takes on G7, Knight F5, Knight D4, and he will have to take only one pawn. This could be interesting. I mean, a check, King goes here, Queen D4, and I assume he wants to go like that.
Okay, if Queen D7.
There is Queen D7, after which I probably resign.
Queen
D7. I mean, that's what can I do? But as a chance, I hope, hope for this trick and to take on b5, and maybe I will manage to exchange the last remaining pawn.
But this is actually what happened, and he simply took on b5.
He took on b5. So there is no doubt his position is lost objectively, but okay, anything can happen. For some reason, I don't believe anything can happen here. So the king is safe, right? Bishop c5 will force the queen to go to e2.
Looks like pretty bad, yes. Okay, and the leaders.
Fedoseev against Dubov. Fedoseev managed to take the pawn on c2. Okay, a lot of stuff happened. They reached move 40. Black being to move. I don't really understand what's going on here now. Okay, this cannot be taken because of bishop h6.
Now it's becoming more messy, so...
Check, right?
Can be check, yes.
Check, and then if you go here, you start losing those pawns and the knight is stuck on f8. So maybe, strangely enough, maybe this one. But it's still like he was completely winning. Now it's already
not so complicated.
Not. I mean, it has to be, right? I mean, if you ask the computer, the program, then it will probably claim.
But with the rooks, still, I mean, it's a lot of technical job to do.
Yeah, the king is wrong. I mean, if black, if I would have everything compact like g3, king on g2, bishop on e3, then it's just winning, winning no problem. But here somehow. Dubov is still fighting. They've reached the time control, so we can once again check this one later. Anything else? In the men's tournament, that's pretty much it. It's this endgame in Arkiev against Ryazantsev. Bishop d3, by the way, was played. so they've reached this position we were looking at.
Fantastic. Yes.
And then I
don't know why he's pushing that hard in that endgame. So he's ready to pass, maybe even through the dangerous zone, yes, trying to win, yeah? Maybe he decided enough of making draws. That's
he made 7 draws, so one can get depressed by this fact. And actually, knight a5 is one thing to do, but as well, I'm kind of interested in this as well. It's like to get it to g5, because I don't quite understand what happens. You go here, bishop takes, check.
King g4.
Now if king g4, and now this is knight e4.
Knight e4, yes.
e4 against jumping, taking things.
Okay, but in general, I think black has too many options, and I don't really believe in such a plan for white.
Yeah, so I mean, as a plan to play for a win, it looks really strange.
Looks really strange, yeah.
So you give the pawn and...
You give the pawn and then you try to take it back with some huge effort, so...
Yes.
That's, yes.
And not to mention that e4 probably makes a draw.
E4 is maybe okay, yes, because, okay, it's maybe the only variation in which white is relatively safe, but any other line, I'm not saying that white is even safe, so...
Yeah, so it's really, really not easy to understand what was this h4. So quickly we'll check the ladies tournament. Pogonina against Ovot. I was not looking at this one at all.
From the move one?
From the move one, yes. Okay. I mean, okay, I mean, we've seen there was some Catalan and that's it. So I don't know what was happening.
It's kind of like a stone wall, structure, yes. And I felt that black was completely comfortable after the opening, but then I don't know what happened, so...
Yeah, now he's no longer comfortable. Rather, takes on e4 with either bishop or the rook, maybe. Yeah, bishop e4 perhaps. Then Shuvalova, Kovalevskaya. Again, some position that I did
just
not look.
Healthy pawn up for
pawn up and seconds left for Katerina Kovalevskaya. Once again,
it's not only about seconds, but it's just a technical job.
It's a bad position.
Even if she goes queen d6 and swaps the queens, I mean, it should be technical position.
Kashlinskaya against Goryachkina. It's a pawn up for Alina Kashlinskaya. It's this game with b4, right? It's been quite a lot of stuff has happened. So b4 sacrificing. Actually, we were discussing this position.
Yeah, so I thought that a3
was
maybe more interesting to go. Yeah.
a3 bishop to b2.
Still, it's an open question if white will have enough compensation, but at least to keep more pressure for black also. Bishop b2, maybe rook c1, and then.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe black has g5 in this case. Actually, maybe he has to push as well. Who cares, right?
Yes.
Still, bishop
no
b2.
problem. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, at some point it looked like completely lost, and maybe it still is. But that's the current. After all the simplifications, that's the current position.
Technically, it should be winning for black, but of course it requires a very accurate play. Because normally the knight endgame with this outside pass, especially the b pawn, which is pretty far away from this other flank, it should be easy for it should be winning for the stronger side. But of course, black anyway has to be careful.
Yeah, but some jumps. Yeah, you start moving. Yeah, well, knight b4 played, knight e5 wasn't the move I thought was good. F6.
Why not?
Yeah, knight e5. No, I mean knight e5 is a bit strange. F6, and where do we go?
Probably knight g4.
Knight g4.
No, so many moves. And then black will activate the position.
Or
king
to
goes
start
or knight goes.
The king. Yeah, so
I mean, okay, it should be winning with the accurate play, but of course still.
Okay, Giria against Nechaeva. Oh well, that's. Also, a lot of things happened. They've reached the time control already. And it's black. Obviously it's black to move. The rook is hanging. The rook is hanging. Who is playing for what?
I think white is trying to win, probably.
White is trying to win.
Probably.
Yes.
If rook is7 checks, then maybe king f3.
King f3.
Yes, and then next move is some knight e4, h5.
h5, knight e4.
And trying to make something.
It's like a7 pawn does not really matter, so.
Yeah, but it's looks like still should be draw if just to go h5 now.
Yeah, h5.
Because h5 unpleasant for black. G5, yes.
G5, bishop c3, knight e4. No, that's.
Okay, if she's not on time to push h5, then white is definitely having chances because h5, knight e4, knight can land to f5 later.
Maybe strangely enough, not a check, but something else.
Rook d2, you mean? Rook d2 I don't like because it will be some checks later, so.
c7.
Okay, h5 check.
h5 I'll have to go here. Knight d3. Once again, yeah, it is unpleasant. I
mean, okay, so white is still playing, yeah. So.
Right.
It's not something easy for all black, yes.
And look, but not Rook Gritsaiva. I mean, it's actually very important who is to move here. I mean, okay, it's white to move, obviously. And is it still unclear?
If white takes, what will happen?
Checks.
Okay. King h2. I think queen
check
f4.
From f4, yes.
Check queen f4.
Check from f4. That's perpetual, but and no check. Yeah, for some reason I thought there is intermediate check on h8, but then the knight can take in the corner. And yeah, the game will finish in a draw because this is what has happened. Queen g4, now it's on the board. So black saves this.
Fantastic, but how it happened?
Yeah, how it happened after king g5, that's interesting. King went to g1, yes. Queen f6, knight is coming to e5, rook d7, then was a check, queen h8. Nice.
Wow.
f6, knight e5. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those positions when you feel relaxed because you have absolutely nothing to lose with black. I mean, if you get mated, you get mated. Who cares? Queen d5, queen f6. This way she wins one of the pawns back. Knight g6, and knight is known to be a very good defender to a king.
Yes.
Queen h7, king g4. Easy.
Of course.
Rook g7, king g5. Everything holds. Rook g8, f3, and I believe somewhere around this moment Gritsaiva was already playing for a win. And maybe rightly so, because now the material is equal. It's just that the king is a little bit worrisome. Queen f5, check, and king h5. That's what happens. Yeah, really crazy game, this one. From the beginning till the end. I mean, this crazy line and a lot of tactics from both sides, and it will end up in a perpetual after queen g4.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a draw for Gunina, and that's it. So Gira, it's an endgame. Goryachkina against Kashlinska. It's this knight endgame which Kashlinska normally has to win. And that's it. Yeah, Pagonina is completely winning against Sovet.
And the leaders, let's go back here.
Yeah, let's go back to Fedoseev and Dubov. Rook a2 check was played, and instead of bishop b2, king went to c3. So now it's a choice. He can take the horse, or he can take the horse, yes, or he can take on f2 and then on g2, where it's also not very easy. With two rooks, some like knight, I don't know, you probably go knight e6, right, rook g2. Maybe he has a chance, like to attack the h4 with two rooks and then just to take it in one moment.
Yes, yes. Can also happen some rook as a bishop versus rook, or rook and knight.
Rook knight versus rook, yeah. Yes, well, it's
lots of options.
It's
like really very unclear.
Within last 15 moves, it's probably the best black's the best position black had.
Yeah.
Which might be still lost, yeah. But Dubov, of course, yeah, he takes takes on f2.
So much loss here, yes.
He takes on f2. And yeah, after all those fancy moves with the knight, like knight f8, knight here, knight been to d7.
Yeah, we thought that maybe just to go backwards, maybe easier, yes, knight e4 and
yeah.
This, yeah.
Something like this we were looking at, yeah? or even knight. Yeah, what would happen?
Just knight e4,
knight e4, knight c3, yeah.
Rook d1, then just bishop g5 check, then knight takes d1, c1, rook d1, and then just to play this three pawns. I mean, if rook d1 check now.
Rook d1.
Maybe check on g5 first. King somewhere, d6, let's say maybe even. And then we just can take on d1. I mean, if we're so much afraid of everything, yes, c takes d1,
c
d1.
takes.
Yes, we take,
rook
and
takes.
Yes, rook. Because here you will have even troubles in maybe regaining.
It's four pawns because our play is so king had to be.
King this, but still I will play maybe.
Yeah, king e2 is 7.
Yeah. But even with the 3 pawns.
Yeah, 3 pawns. It's just an easy. No, I think it's easy winning.
Yes, and then just a king with the pawns and then the slightly pushing. I think even 3 pawns should be winning. Maybe it was an easier job.
Yeah, because as it is, he might not win this one. Okay, Matlakov against Volkov. That's the position. They've reached move 40, it seems. Queens were exchanged. King e6, a5. Not that I can see a chance for white. Not really. Draw for Sigirov and Swidler. Inarkiev. I wonder if he's not lost after this brilliant operation with h4. So that's perhaps still the most exciting. Endgame h5.
h4 is the most mysterious move for me of the whole round.
Knight a5.
Absolutely very hard for me to explain this idea.
Takes and king takes.
Now white is a pawn down. If he goes king g4, king h4, it's still a really long way, and I think that d4, e4, d3, e3, and this pawn will probably just promote.
Okay,
really,
d4
really
takes this.
Okay, I'm not sure, but maybe first d3, d2.
No, but that's fine.
Even this, even e3.
That's fine. Is that?
Or maybe this.
Yeah. This kind of works. Takes, then e3,
yes.
takes, takes,
yes.
King g3, e2, and king d2.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of works. So yeah, I mean, it's really important if he can or cannot play king g4, because if he doesn't have king g4, he's probably resigning, right?
Okay, he can try, but it's absolutely unexplainable what he did. He gave up the pawn. He lost lots of time in regaining it. Meanwhile, he lost very important pawn on c3, and now black has the extra pawn, and the d pawn is just starts to roll. So, how to explain such a play? It's really hard.
Okay, that's what happened. King went to g4. Meanwhile, Pagonina won against Ovot.
Yes, but she was completely winning this.
Pagonina won against Ovot. Anything which is still So this endgame and Fedoseev against Dubov. This is what is
so 96
what is left. Just quickly want to see if anything in the ladies tournament. Not really. Yeah, this Gira against Nichaeva can be really long. Bodnaruk made the draw against Gritsaeva. That's official. It's finished.
And Gunina made also the
Gunina made the draw. We are shown Tomaszewski and Romanov are still playing. This is kind of forgotten. Yeah. So we can check. We can check this one. Well. You said he has no counterplay. He thinks otherwise. He played b5. I don't know if it is.
Okay, b5 is not making some real counterplay. So
yeah, I mean, maybe he actually wants to
have
you know, kind of to close everything. That was the moment. Yeah. So Queen d2 was possible.
It's a possible approach, but still, it's a long way until black will succeed to make a draw. So
f3 takes, b5, queen to e3. So now b4 is actually answered with bishop d2 and some queen h6.
Bishop e1, because bishop d2. Okay, bishop d2 is also good, yes, because bishop b6 and queen h6. Yeah. And then there is this checks. Yeah.
But bishop e1 is bishop e1, bishop f2 just to
safe and
keep the king safe.
And then white has two directions. One direction is g4 and then maybe g5 or h5, and the other direction is to invade with the queen. Maybe c5, s7, I don't know, somewhere there. So still black needs to be careful. So.
No, it's not a pleasant position for black. Yeah. I just realized that it's not.
Probably it's not as bad as it looks, but still black needs to be careful. So. Because it's very easy to get outplayed here. Yeah, you're thinking, okay, nothing
can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, then you're just standing, but then you find yourself in real trouble, and then you say, oh.
Yeah. So black's thinking, and and if he takes it, it's once again it doesn't really give him a real well, queen d1 is possible. Wait, just realized that. I don't know when. Before bishop e1, queen d1. Not sure. Maybe takes and queen d1. Maybe like this. I don't see what I want here, but bishop d2. Okay, and then just to maybe
king f7 maybe.
To draw back. King f7. Yeah. So that after this check, it's bishop e7.
Or king e8. Just to put
e6 even. Yeah.
Put somewhere closer to the bishop, and then
yeah, the queen is nice on d1, yeah?
Yeah, because I have lots of checks here, queen e2 and sort of this. Yeah.
Maybe this is the critical line now.
Yes, yes.
Because you have to... but then
but you could try maybe without changing.
Not. It's black. I mean, not taking, so that to keep an option.
Because then maybe queen b3.
Yeah. So maybe. Like that. Yeah. Before capturing on c4, like to play queen d1. Queen d2 and then yeah, but there is a check on d7.
No,
there is check on d7 and
check then bishop d2. No.
King h6, bishop d2. Yes, yeah. That's bad. Because if exchange happens,
no, exchange this,
then even b4 will probably not save, right? I'm not sure how I'm starting.
G4 maybe.
No, g4. He will do this, and then h5 he'll play g5. He will be left with one weakness only. So I mean, it's a very ugly way to defend this position, but it works. So maybe I have to start with, after b4, I have to start with this to make sure that I'm in time. And now, I don't know, there is a 5, but it's again very double-edged.
It's a double-edged.
I mean, not double, but rather dubious than number. Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
it's still an open question if it would be enough for black to hold or not.
Oh wait, and if I still just do nothing, it's like wait for, let's say, I'm just waiting, and if maybe I can try then like this, king g4 and h5. This is what I do.
Still, you can wait.
And I wait, and there is no.
But this looks ugly in general. I mean, this
sure, and then
some way
if he waits longer, then maybe like that. Yeah. So first Zugzwang, then second opposition, second Zugzwang, yeah, and not to mention that I can do this as well.
Yes.
Right. So queens have to be kept at any cost for black, otherwise he will.
Especially after he played b4. Okay, he played bishop e1.
He did play b4.
Yeah.
So b4 happened. Before happened, queen, bishop e1.
Now maybe your move is c5, no?
C5 here.
Maybe, no?
Somehow with queens is sort of less.
I thought you take queen d1.
Or d3.
Queen d3, queen d5 maybe.
Yeah. And if queen d1.
Here to go.
Yeah, because queen d5, it's a draw, right?
One, yeah. Trying to use.
Wait a sec. Option. But if I go here and just did this, no, this you run away. This you take and then take the other one. I'm not sure if it's all that good for me. You take on c4. This moment I can give a check, maybe. Maybe it's clever.
Yeah. No, it should be.
It should be bad. Should maybe be bad for black.
It's not an idea, but maybe then some bishop e7 with the same idea. Because I like this idea, maybe too close.
To put another pawn on dark side, but at least to close the diagonal, yeah.
And then just try to speculate in changing queens. Then just to exchange queens and just to stand until the end of the game.
Maybe he was going to save, but still a lot of suffering, of course, for Romanov. Interesting thing that yesterday he had this dark square bishops against Ryazantsev, and the situation was completely the opposite. So Ryazantsev had all the pawns on dark squares. So now Ryazantsev managed to save. So now Romanov is probably optimistic as well. The position was different though. Matlakov has lost. Matlakov has lost with the white pieces against Volkov. Volkov scores 2 in a row after a really
bad start, yes.
Bad start, and not only the start, I mean 1 out of 6. And I mean he might be not the favorite here, but he didn't deserve, let's say, to have 1 out of 6. And Fedoseev, Dubov, well actually Dubov is fighting. That's the position with black to move. somehow, yeah, how this happened? Knight, blah blah blah. Knight went to e6. Rook takes g2. Knight g5. King g6. Rook h1. How about king h5? I assume it's knight e6 here, or because now, I mean, there are already some threats. Rook g4 and so on. Why I want to play king h5? Because he's...
Yes, I think that black should hold this. I don't know how, but it looks much closer to the draw now.
This move, though, have to give a check, maybe? Or even this. So that I wait for knight f4, yes, then I give a check. Yeah, somehow this king always runs into some checks.
But here white can go and then just h5, h6 and try to push, yeah?
But wait, where to?
King c4, rook f5.
King c4, rook f5, yeah, I mean, this knight now will not be safe. Like, till the end of the game.
So knight d5.
Knight d5 always keeping... yeah, knight f6 is a... Yeah, here I can't really do anything, interestingly enough. Yeah, and then this pawn is running. Yeah, but indeed, by intuition, the feeling is like black is very closer to
the draw than white
to a victory.
Yes,
yeah.
But black
it's really you have to do something.
So
but
it's good that Daniel is still thinking. He is not moving fast, so.
Yeah, there is still.
It's quite an important moment now.
You kind of want to play king h5 because otherwise this pawn is like running and not clear what to do. Oh wait, can it be this move? Where do you go? Well, you can't go to d4 because I just take. So you kind of have to go to d3. Now I go there. And after knight e6, once again I can I take? Yes, I can take. So maybe it's... How about... no, he can play king b4 with a tempo. He can play king b4 with a tempo. Now if I take it, it's rook c4, yeah? But then the king is far away, so maybe rook c... Then a rook c8. Other rook to c2 is an option. No, I mean it's... Yeah, well actually I'm threatening perpetual with c5 rook. I mean all the checks on c file. Who knows? And as well king h5 rook c4. Maybe it's... I mean it's not a forward draw. Yeah, king b4 doesn't look like a move.
The move you want to play.
Doesn't look like the move. So maybe you keep the king on third rank somewhere. And then, yeah, then I said, then I go to h5. Then I go to h5. Could be just a draw.
And some bishop e3.
Bishop e3. Knight e4 here. Okay, have to go to this side. Then rook c5 check happen. Yeah, now I'm actually starting to think. Imagine something like that happens, for instance. And I mean, white loses this pawn, and somehow rook. Yeah, I just saw two minor pieces and the rook against two rooks. But of course, it's a draw because you win an exchange and it's still a draw. Because there've been recently some findings like, yeah, two knights and rook win against rook and knight, for instance. It takes 150 moves. Yes.
Yeah, without h4 pawn, I think it should be easy draw fallback.
Yeah. So. Okay, check given. Fedoseev needs to find the most precise reply. Somehow it usually happens like that. When we reach the time control in the games, they really slow down. So for next half an hour, we practically have nothing to talk about. So I will go to women's tournament once again. For instance, this game, Gira against Nechaeva, the line we were looking at happened completely on the board. H5, G5, Bishop C3 up to this point. So I really don't know.
No, it's very dangerous, but and if knight e4?
I don't know,
Bishop
still.
Somewhere,
Bishop somewhere, and she's planning to pin the knight when it takes on f6. So this is the idea. Okay. Okay. So that means nothing can be done, or? Because sooner or later she will have to take, right? Or not? Yeah, I just started to think how I mean, what's black's next move, but first, what's white's next move? If we don't take on f6, what do we do? It's like king f4, it's just check from e5 and back. No, okay, probably it has to be... No, but if knight takes rook f7, just a draw, so it has to be something like this, rook f7, and then... Don't know. To wait... Yeah, king g3, let's say in the most straightforward way, right? Takes... Okay, takes rook a7 is obviously a draw. But some f4, for instance,
should be also do, I think.
King goes here, right? Knight g5, rook on 7th. Yeah, I was still kind of thinking that maybe white will win a7 pawn, but he doesn't.
But he can wait. But she can wait.
Knight d6.
Yes, but she can wait here, maybe even with this move, because if rook a7, bishop h4.
Yeah.
So maybe she can wait.
Bishop h4 is nice, yes.
Okay, white can maybe try to ignore and to move, something like this, but
it's too much, yeah.
King f5 I want to have, but this,
yeah, it's too much. Should be a draw, yeah. Should be just a draw. What will be the situation? So Gunina makes a draw. Giria and Goryachkina were the closest rivals, right? It was Gira and Goryachkina.
And Pogonina?
And Pogonina. No, Pogonina was the closest rival. Yeah. Pogonina and Gira, I guess. Pogonina wins, so that means she equals with Gunina on +3. Oh, yeah. Shuvalova Kovalevskaya still playing, but...
What they have?
This knight on a2 somehow. a3, knight went to a2. After queen d6, you said it's a technical job. No, but black keeps the queen. Yes. Let's make it complicated. f4, bishop f3. Then black is asking to change the queens. a3, knight goes here. Rook d2.
Still the same
technical job. Yeah.
Still. Not so much change. Okay, they should be winning for white.
And yeah, and Goryachkina against Kashlinska, this knight's ending. It's actually one of the ways how you do not win this position is letting white to come with the king into a center, right? Yes. So you try to promote the pawn, somehow knight is given for this pawn, and the king is running.
Yes.
So if king gets somewhere like this, then white is usually safe. f4, black's to move, and maybe it's no longer that easy. Maybe it's no longer that easy. I mean, still should be winning, I believe, but somehow if I try the most straightforward, then I can imagine that white will play maybe this move, and even... No, I mean, knight d2 should be lost, right?
Right.
Or maybe I start with this. Maybe I can actually start with this and this. So that if b3, I take it by force. Knight d2, b2, check, king f7, then it's just a draw. So yeah. somehow some pass doesn't really help. I mean, first of all, it's not clear which kind of pass. It's okay. H5, white plays H3, G4.
H5 is not a useful pass.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Not that you have a useful pass, right?
And king b3, maybe with idea king c2 and...
Yes, so like to promote this pawn this
because
way.
From king c2 we can go king d3, king e2 and started to attack your flank, yes. Yes, maybe king c2.
King c2, so now if this happens...
b4.
Now I'm not stopping it. I mean, I can't take the...
Yes, and b4, if you take b3...
This b3, knight d6 and some...
King d3.
Knight b5.
b2. Knight d3 and then we go going here.
You mean like this?
Yes,
yeah, that's nice.
Because I think I will be first in the KF.
So knight goes here. Now what we are talking about. So if b2, then white is in time with knight c4 and check from a3.
Yes, king
Therefore,
d3.
We want to play king d3.
Yes, knight b5.
Knight b5 is the only move to stop the
b2,
pawn.
b2 just to keep this pawn, and then king e4.
King goes here. King goes here. Yeah, now we have to check this race. King goes, takes.
We take,
and f5.
5. Oh, h5 take h4 goes h3.
Queen.
And we cannot take the queen knight on 3 because he is protected.
This.
Protected from f8.
King goes somewhere.
Yes, just a draw.
Blah. This queen, and even the knight is protected.
And the irony is that even the knight is protected, So we can't win the knight, yes.
So it's...
But it's a possible plan.
Yeah, let's say it's not necessarily the correct line, but it gives you an idea what can happen in this game.
Yeah, sure.
So that's it. Shuvalov, as we said, should be winning. The other game's finished. In the men's section, how many do we have? Tomaszewski, Inarkiev, and...
And Inarkiev, what they do?
Inarkiev, I think they do nothing. They do nothing after
king b4?
Wait, king b4. Maybe
b4?
there was some problem with our plan. King g4, king... maybe he goes to f5. Wait a sec. Because we said d4, maybe in this case he goes to f5. And then tries to take again this. Uses the a pawn to, to just give it away. Take 2, give the bishop, take the remaining one. So king goes to b4. It frees the knight so that if king f5 is played, knight c4 is possible. I'm wondering if I can take this one. Or it's still dangerous.
No, but at least you have a clear plan, g4. And then just to start to roll your pawn, maybe.
g4 takes...
To take?
With
the pawn, let's say.
With the pawn.
First we check with the pawn. Just to make sure that g4, g5, because this pawn is extremely quick, maybe. Okay, knight c6, g4, knight e7 maybe. Knight c6 is bishop 8, yes.
No, it's still king b5, yes. g4, king c5, g5.
But then take g5, king d6, g6. No, this is okay.
No, but
anyway, white is
after this, white can play g4 as well, right? It doesn't look like white... no longer he looks lost to me. Actually, isn't it a possibility? No, he will go knight e7. I just wanted to say that this is a funny draw because the knight cannot protect the pawn. You have like couple of moves.
After king b4, I think it should be draw because the king goes really far away.
To take this pawn.
Yeah, I think maybe instead of here. This position, it looks still pretty dangerous for me with the king on c3. So okay, if d4, because here we need to calculate a bit. I don't like that much. What is white next move?
He probably wants... maybe he wants king f5 more than to take on
we go some
h4.
knight c4 first.
Knight c4. Maybe still king f5. Maybe still king f5. So that he wants to play a4, a5.
We also have some king d2, king a1 option. Attacking from this side. Also have king d4, but this is slightly strange.
Yeah, king d4, you kind of get stuck, right? He moves the bishop. Maybe he keeps it like this, but which still doesn't explain h4 move.
Quite strange, yeah.
Right, so we have this, which is most likely a draw. We have Tomaszewski Romanov, where Romanov managed to put the queen on d1 before bishop e1, bishop e7 happened, bishop f2, and then queen went to d1. So now at least the queen is active. And what's that, by the way? Maybe king f7, interesting enough. Because I thought if king f8, I can actually consider taking. I cannot really understand what's that. Queen b3, check, king somewhere, queen c6. And then, I mean, black is faster, but who knows? I mean, I can start attacking and let's say, actually, this is a very nice line. Queen, queen. You attack e4, I protect e4. We continue. So this is the funny line. But then white has no checks, so maybe he's lost in the end, yeah? After queen e2. Maybe he's... Most likely he's just lost. Unless he has some... he doesn't have perpetual. Or maybe he does.
Okay, but this is not really important.
This is not very important question. Yeah, very not very important question. But maybe white has a perpetual. This is not what is going to happen, of course. Yeah, but if let's say within next couple of moves you will not play. I mean, maybe black wants c5 already with queen being active.
It's one of the options. Yes.
Maybe black just wants to play c5 and then we'll keep the queen active. And the fair chance is that, yeah, if queens are coming off, then it's a draw if black has a pawn on c5. So maybe Romanov holds, and yeah, and this is this very tense, very important as well game between two leaders, where after rook c5 check there is still no move from Fedoseev. No. From a camera view, I can see that the move was actually played, king to d3. So it's Dubov who is thinking, and with 3 games in progress in each section, I think it's another tea time for us. Let's go. So we go for a short break again, and I don't really think that all the games will be finished within the next hours. It will be 5 hours for sure, and maybe a bit more this round number 8. Stay tuned, people. I think those remaining endgames are very instructive.
Федеральная сетевая компания ЕНС «Россия» стала надежным партнером бизнеса и государства в реализации ключевых проектов в реальном секторе экономики. Повышение эффективности деятельности, сокращение издержек – это естественная задача для менеджмента компании, независимо от внешней конъюнктуры. Благодаря этой работе наша компания стала более финансово устойчива, высвободились средства для реконструкции и развития электросетей, для выплаты дивидендов акционерам.
This is Houston, contact with a test 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end of test.
Двери Музея политической истории России открыты для всех. Сюда приходят взрослые и дети, петербуржцы и гости города, знатоки и любители истории. Все встретят радушный прием, и мы уверены, захотят прийти снова.
It's a great place actually to get an understanding of the evolution of Russian history since the start of the 19th century. And it's very convenient, it's very fast, and it's great actually.
Всякий раз, бывая в музее, хочется остаться здесь на несколько часов, чтобы детально все рассмотреть.
Здесь так много интерактивных экспонатов, можно прикоснуться к каждому из них и понять, как история оживает прямо в твоих руках.
Потрясающий музей, нужно обязательно приводить сюда детей.
Чтобы любить свою родину, надо знать ее историю. Она разная, но она наша.
Здесь очень красиво, хочется возвращаться сюда много раз.
Welcome back, everyone. We are ready to continue. So round number 8, to remind you, 3 games in progress in men's section. Is it 3? Oh, well, it's only 2 left. I think we are missing some results. So we had. No, that's wrong. What are the results we have? Tomaszewski and Romanov. Yeah, that was the game which was in progress when we went for a break. But Tomaszewski couldn't really find anything. He went for Queen A7, Bishop C5, allowing a perpetual after Queen E2. So that leaves us with 2 games only, and we do believe that now Dubov will make a draw. It looks like. Last move, knight e4, simply allows a draw. Yes. H5, king to f5, knight e4, and after rook a3 check, knight c3, they just agree the draw. It's clear Fedoseev has all the reasons to be disappointed. But on the other hand, he doesn't have anyone to blame but himself. I think his position was completely winning when he has taken those pawns. Knight d7 is the kind of a first move. Probably was winning still, right? But it's kind of knight d7 is the first move when it went through.
G5 is not possible. Maybe just to take the knight.
Rook h4. I think it could have been what he was hoping for. Yeah, check. Rook d5. Yeah, we can maybe show this line. Before, yeah. Maybe we can show this line. Yeah, if it's a check, king here, king takes e. Oh, well, rook e3 is still lost. Yes, rook e3 is lost and king e4 is lost because of a check. You take on e3, white takes on d5, and king is cut. And if king e5, it's bishop f4 check.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, but after rook a3,
it's just a draw. Yes.
Just a draw.
Okay. Disappointing result for white. Obviously he was winning, but this jumps around this area probably was not correct.
And it keeps the upper half of
rook e2, maybe bishop b2 was some chance for white, but with such a pin, of course, it's a very hard job to do.
And yeah, just want to say that this draw keeps the upper half of a gross table intact. So all the leaders made draws, and people sharing fourth place. Tomaszewski made the draw, Swidler made the draw. So it's 3 people on +2, 2 people on +1, and 1 game in progress where if someone wins and this someone can only be black,
yes.
Then it will be, he will join. Ryazantsev can potentially join Swidler and Tomaszewski, even though I don't see how to do that, because after e4 it looks like he can simply take. Right, so last move was bishop f3. Now if black plays e4,
maybe d4.
d4, and then I don't really know. Maybe g4 is what he wants. Oh well, can I do this? Bishop e4. And then g4, king takes, and f4. If I'm in time to do that, so just to exchange all the pawns.
Where to put the knight?
No, maybe I start with this, or g3. I'm not sure what is.
G4
let's say g4, like pawn is running. Yeah, pawn takes, king takes. Let's make it this way, so that. And now maybe d3 still keeps the game going. Because I'm kind of not in time to exchange this last pawn. Bishop d1, king b4, f4, e4. I'm just losing, it seems. King f3, you still keep everything protected. King c3, knight c4. No, this.
Okay, but anyway, this is not the easiest way to make
Not the easiest way, obviously. Yes, it's not the easiest way for white. Wait, can he run with the king after bishop f3, d4? Can he run with the king anyway? In g5, f5.
Looks low, no? Okay, d3.
d3, king is coming.
Knight c4.
Knight c4. And even this move maybe? d2, I suppose, and then g4.
Or maybe king d3.
King d3 actually wins the
Not
wins the pawn immediately, no?
Not yet.
Ah, you make king d2. I'm actually happy with g4 for some reason, because I don't really see how to... Yeah, if knight is moved, I just take e5, right? If king is coming, okay, I'm pushing my pawn. There's this. Should be a draw. So it's only Volkov who has won today, it seems, and all the rest will be draws.
Yeah, but anyway, it's hard to understand. H4 was an attempt to win, or H4 was some brilliant way to save the game.
So if we come back to this position, is it dangerous without H4? Yeah.
Yes,
so let's put it this way.
If he was trying to make a draw like this, or he was trying to play for the win like this.
Because
maybe he was trying to make a draw.
Yeah, now I actually I'm starting to think this way. So maybe the position was dangerous.
Maybe he thought that he's passive and he needs to reduce the material. Yeah.
Maybe the position was it's like, what are the alternatives? Because black kinda has a plan, right? To play maybe e4, knight to e. I mean, I'm not sure what black's plan is. But
just to stay passive is maybe not what white actually intended, yeah?
Yeah, maybe h4 is just an absolutely fine way to make a draw.
But anyway,
not the obvious
really
one.
Strange, yes, but anyway, it looks really strange, yes.
Not the obvious one, but maybe it works. Okay, and so this will probably finish pretty quickly. I assume, I mean, in 10 moves everything will be absolutely clear. Then Goryachkina against well, in all three games in ladies section is still in progress, actually. Goryachkina against Kashlinskaya. Kashlinskaya thinking in this position.
Maybe to play some h5.
No? No, she already, look, they repeated once, yeah, knight e8, king d5, that was our idea, so that if b3, knight takes, and king is running to e6 and f7. Yeah. So it was a check, king back to c4, now...
Otherwise probably knight e6 was the idea, yeah? If king c6, then probably knight e6, yeah?
You mean if... Here, after this check, if king c6...
Knight a6,
knight a6, no? If knight takes b3. Yes, and you can't really stop the pawn. Yeah, knight c7, b2, check, and any b4. Yeah. So knight goes back here, king goes back here. I don't really see what... wait, can she... How do we stop the pawn here? b3. Now it's knight c7, b5, c3. Now it's possible to maybe to lose this one. maybe you lose this way if you're...
Maybe some knight a8, no?
Knight a8, I was actually thinking about this, and I think she just played it. The thing is, like,
no.
I mean, to keep the knight, to try to promote the pawn. Knight b6, king goes, knight a4, and b3. I'm not sure if knight d3. Maybe I had to. Wait, I can go here, so that b3 is not yet possible. Because if b3, it's knight d2, and again I take the pawn. Yeah. Maybe it's still not easy. Okay, you walk to c2 maybe.
Yes,
b3 or b2, yes. Somehow. Here, king goes here, king c2, and now it's 3 moves left.
Yeah, it should be winning.
It should be winning this one. It's like I go there. And this is maybe this is the easiest, right? I take b3 in this mode. No, b3, knight b5, and knight a3. Still cannot make it work. Yeah, the feeling is like it's completely winning, but still somehow. Now it's it's a check. Yes, or he go to a5.
This is not the win there. But it looks really close. But
yeah, it looks very.
It should be something else for white, no?
Some other move
to the line.
Well, what can I do? My knight is not moving because of b3. And knight b6 is a threat.
It's kind of annoying, yeah.
No, white probably has to do this. Takes, king c6, king c4, king d6. No, this is...
No, but this may be lost for it.
Yeah, should be lost. I mean, the knight is still alive, yeah?
Yeah, the king is close.
No, my point was not to take the knight, but just to ignore it, right? I mean, it's like king c4, king d6, but it should be lost. King d4, this. No, I mean, it's black who starts taking first. It should be winning. This takes...
Maybe h5.
h5, here.
King g4.
King g4. Yeah.
King g6, f5.
King g6, f5, and then pawns are not exchanged. So maybe then it's not a draw, right? Because it looks, I don't know if it's good or bad, but white has to enter this line. King there and start those tricky jumps with the... maybe this is another possible move. Maybe this is the trickiest move, yes. So that b3 is not possible if you... I mean, you will spend some time getting to c3, then I'll play knight a5. But still. And
if we go some knight c3 here?
Knight c3, back to c5 maybe.
Because I thought maybe to put knight on e4. Then
now to the... No, but no. If I pass, yeah.
King f7, I thought
knight e4, king a4. This is a nice kind of domination. Yeah, king a4, all the...
To cut the knight. Yes.
Yeah, all the squares are covered, and f6 pawn is protected just in case, and b pawn is running. Yeah. Bernard is running. So this, and then then white goes back to c5. Can this ever be winning, like b3, knight takes, king takes, and I will keep the f6 pawn? No, not really.
I don't.
Then I can't make progress, right? So this.
But actually she played king b5.
Ah, she played king b5.
Yeah. This is a strange move.
So now we think it's lost, right?
b3, yeah, because now we thought that white needs to take on b3. Otherwise, okay, she can play knight d3, but it will not change so much.
And if she plays this,
still,
I mean, to take on b1, is it any different? I mean, let's say. Now probably knight can escape, but let's say black goes to the most straightforward line.
It should be probably the draw.
Ah, this is draw. The king is too far, right? King d6, d7, whatever. Now the king is too far.
Yeah, because in this moment we were playing king e4.
We were playing king e4, right? So how does that happen? b3, knight e4. This is still fine. After that. This is a threat, and king c6 is a threat, right? So it's maybe still not easy. Just king a2, I just go king c6. If check, here knight a6, now I probably do this. Take and king d6, so I'm one tempo up in this, right? One tempo up in this line. Which still, I'm not convinced it's a draw. Knight c5. Now that the knight is coming, might be just lost, or probably is lost.
Okay, but here 2 against 1, of course the fight goes on. So.
And it's, I mean, it's a really long line, so it could be that we just missed some move. White is down to 2 minutes only, so this is...
But maybe, yes, maybe knight e4 is the best practical chance, probably.
Yeah, because knight b2 is just the same. Knight e4 kind of wins the tempo. If you go to take this knight on b1, it kind of wins the tempo. Knight e4, and can black move the knight here? Ah, no, it will be the same, right? Knight d2, and I just take the pawn.
Almost at every moment you can play knight.
Knight d2 and force this pawn. Yeah, force the exchange of this pawn. So that will be quite an impressive save, I would say, by Goryachkina.
If black will win, it will be an impressive way to win.
Impressive win, yes.
Knight a8 move, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, because here, without knight a8, looks like there is no chance.
Probably, at least it's not easy yet, because to go with some h5, you may just lose a tempo, or you can swap more pawns later. No, she decided just.
She decided to take on b3, but this is lost.
This is not clear what she has in mind later.
King goes, I assume. Okay, so this position we probably reach. I said no, this is what? G4, H3, does that give any chance? G4, H3, I just keep losing pawns,
king
right?
G5 and King H6.
Yeah,
so much
that's a very good...
yes, you can just protect it physically and then...
This... wait, now it's this move. No, it's completely lost, right? No, it's completely lost. Knight
somewhere.
Somewhere G5 takes H5, F6, and even with tempo to spare, yes. Yeah, so she missed a realistic chance with knight e4. Then we have this rook ending Gira against Nechaeva, the one which was rook and knight versus rook and bishop. Somewhere knight f6 happened, rook f7, king e4, bishop takes f4. Then there was a lot of maneuvering. Finally, white has taken on f6. Rook f6, rook takes a7.
Yes, supposedly it should be an easy draw, because even without the h pawn is considered to be a theoretical draw, so with the pawn h5 it should be more or less an easy draw.
Somewhat surprising. I mean, black went to take on h4 now in the present position, but she could actually do this immediately, it seems, right?
But then check on f5.
Then check. This is how you lose.
And she doesn't. And she doesn't.
This is how you lose. Yes.
She doesn't want to play f and h against.
This is how you lose, because this is, well, technically still a draw, but
it requires lots of knowledge. Yes.
Okay, so she plays rook b6.
And I think in my practice twice I was playing on the weak side against Peter Lerko, and I think in Monaco I made the draw in a rapid time control. I don't know how, maybe by some miracle, and then against the same opponent, same material appeared, but it was in blitz. With this 2 seconds increment, and I finally lost it. It was in 2014, so it's like maybe 9 years after. But it's just funny that I was reaching the same game only against the same.
Only against Peter Lerko, yeah. King to e4.
h3.
Rook h3, f5, and a check, and been more moves.
Probably king e5, rook h4.
So king e5, rook h4, a check, and king goes to g8. Good enough. This, and then go here. Or what do we do? I mean, we can go here, can go here. King f6, yes. What is the move to lose here with black? So far I see only two, which are king f8 or rook a4. I mean, probably all the rest is a draw, right? So what I have to have...
What she wants. Maybe she wants rook g4, h4, just to start to deflecting white rook, so... Check,
yeah, it's still not easy to understand how you lose this position. Meanwhile, Goryachkina and Kashlinskaya reached this position, so we concluded that white has no chance if black gets the king on e4, which is probably right. And Shuvalov against Kovalevskaya will be the game, as I said, will be the game. Which will keep us long in the office. Very, very slowly it develops. So it's been almost an hour since they reached the time control and only 10 moves played since.
And it seems that black has done more progress than white.
I mean, it's black clearly improved the situation. Yeah, maybe so he's still lost, but yeah.
But it's not that lost.
That lost, yes.
You just probably lost, but not that lost. And here, I don't know, also there is this option of b5 and
yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
And to simplify it more. So once it's really simplified, then the white is becoming more and more tough. So.
b5, and also there is some move like then white plays knight e3, of course, not blundering the a4
no need for black to be
you want
really tricky. So
yeah, you want to do something like this, maybe, right, to simplify.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, one thing is sometimes you can take on c4 and the pawn is blocked and everything, but probably you just go back and then try to put pressure on b3.
Bishop c6 is sometimes checking, can be annoying. So
yeah, now it's closer. Yeah, I mean, if black plays b5,
white is still white has still chances, but it's obvious she was basically standing on the same place, and black was making some progress.
Yeah, so it's in a way I would say the trend is such in this game, so it's more likely a draw than white's victory. Okay, and in Arkiev Ryazantsev, the position I see, it really depends who is to move, because if black's to move...
For me it reminds me, it's like they're playing Go. This is shape of Go.
Yeah,
yes.
D3.
It's called Tiger Mouse.
Tiger Mouse, this one, E5, D4, F4.
Yes, yeah. So this shape is called Tiger Mouse, but probably in chess is not the most effective shape. So
okay, knight B2.
Really funny.
This, any chance still? No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. Can take. That's maybe the question. Can he take?
Why not?
Why not? Yes, king here, right? King c4 and g3. That's what's gonna happen. d3. Yeah, this is what happens here. This is what happens. The situation in the leading group did not change whatsoever. So 3 players on +2: Vityugov, Dubov, Fedoseev. 2 players on +1. Ryazantsev and Yarkiev both remain on 50%.
I think it's probably the first tournament ever for Ernesto when he has so many draws in a row, because normally he's very competitive player.
And here as well, I mean, it's not like he makes draws. I mean, he's trying,
he's playing, he's
pushing hard.
Yes, he comes with some interesting opening ideas and so out of this, and still he made 80 draws in a row. I think I don't remember if I ever made so many draws in a row in my career. So
Bishop f3, d2, king takes. This is what happened. And now, yeah, we can no longer see this one. Queen f3. This prolongs the game. g4 was the more technical way to finish the game. g4, knight takes, g5, knight h3, finish.
Maybe he wants to fight, maybe, no?
How do you fight here?
Because he has nothing to lose.
Free roll situation, right? I think the game is finished. Kashlinskaya wins against Goryachkina. That's the final.
So even if 3 shows the intention of Ernesto that he wants to fight,
yeah, in the end,
unfortunately,
there is nothing to fight with. Yeah. So what has happened was g4. Well, this version we never checked in this game. Goryachkina against Kaczynski. So she tried g4, but not h3. So now she decided to go here. King takes, king takes, king takes on f5, king takes on h7, and now it's like any move, right? But king g5 is
just king h5. That's enough.
Just good enough. Okay.
Very deep thinking.
Here, yeah. Yeah, sometimes I think people tend to overuse this. I mean, everyone was told in childhood, like, you have to use all the chances to play for a win, but, you know, sometimes it's a bit too much. f4, now knight e3, g4, take on g4, and let your opponent, give your opponent, you know, let him stalemate you, yes, as long as it's still a draw. This is what happens. King e6, this g4, king f7. No way. No way. No stalemate for Inarkiev.
No humiliation, because stalemate can feel as a humiliation.
Yeah, stalemate is a little bit, feels a little bit painful. It's like, your opponent is not happy with the draw, but he kind of forces you to. Yes, and now we will finish this game on my terms.
Yes, I will punish you with a stalemate. Yes.
Okay, so that sets an end to the men's round, and as I've already mentioned, it's only one result today. Volkov wins second game in a row. This time, a bit surprising. After the opening, it looked that his position is very dangerous.
But maybe he was conscious about taking such a huge risk, and actually it paid off. So he won the game. So we can congratulate him. Yes, here's the probably the most upset result for White. I mean, not in terms that we were supporting Vladimir or whatever, but objectively, of course, he was completely winning at some point, and
this is the game we are talking about.
A very important game, because the two leaders were of course playing, and the price of this game were extremely high. But everything ended up in a draw, so the intrigue we still have.
Yeah, it's like everything is open going to last 3 rounds.
I think that Fedoseev has an easier finish, if we can use this word here, because I think he will play both Volkov and Romanov,
who are in the bottom of the crosshair. But Volkov is not the same Volkov he was around move 4-5. Now Dubov, he won a couple of...
he has 2 whites. He has tougher finish. He plays Malachov, Vityugov, and Inarkiev, but he has 2 whites, and he's very productive with nice ideas. With the white pieces, so we can hope for some interesting opening ideas. And Vityugov, he has white pieces against Dubov in the penultimate round. So obviously, if he wants to take the clear first,
it's kind of must-win situation. Yes,
he has a chance. So he has the white pieces, so he can play. And the 2 other guys, I don't remember.
Fedoseev is yet to play against Svidla.
Yes,
so this is also also one of the key games which are remaining.
And also very important, who will have white, because I don't know.
I think Svidla is going to be white. Yeah, he had black today, and he has a couple of whites, one of them against Matlakov, the other one against Fedoseev. Might be wrong though. 2 games in women's section are still going on. Gira against Nechaeva, so black shows he knows how to defend this one. So now
how to produce lots of checks from the side.
Yeah, basically you just go with your rook as far as possible and make a lot of checks. Then that's a very good strategy. Very good strategy, this kind of endgames. And Shuvalova versus Kovalevsky, I think b5 has happened. Perhaps in this position, in a position we were looking at, b5, a takes, bishop takes. White just takes on b5, plays b4. Maybe this is the best white could do. The best white could do. So knight is forced to a6, rook d4, king e7,
d4.
G4. You said like to put the rook behind, or?
Yes, but anyway, it's hard to push the pawn, yeah.
Maybe this is sort of an important line, so that knight b4, knight c2, and there is a check on d4 in the end, because otherwise, yeah, rook a1 could have been unpleasant, right? Yes. Forcing the knight. Well,
rook
maybe.
b6, maybe.
Rook b6 is still fine, yes. Rook b6 is still fine. Then b5 is...
No, that was a question maybe to put the rook on b1, just to make sure that the pawn can start to...
Yeah, rook b1, and then to try to bring this guy to c4. Okay, rook d4 cuts the black king, but at the same time, yes, it's not helping this pawn moving. King e7, rook to b8, then for some reason rook went to c4, maybe to stop rook c8, king goes to d6.
So it's pretty hard to make, it's pretty hard to win this.
Oh wait, and is this...
Yeah, if I rook d4, she still has
d4. So, I mean, maybe to start with this now. Just kind of securing that I will have the way to create second passed pawn.
Yes, and to fix the g7 pawn just in case. Yes.
h5. Maybe it's still not entirely pleasant for black. Yeah, because with pawn fixed there, then suddenly, you know, like I move the rook, black takes everything on b4, and this moment I play rook to 7s, and once again it can be very dangerous all of a sudden. So I like this h5.
Black also needs to decide if she will push e5 or she will just try to stand. Because e5, of course, is tempting to take the d4 square out and maybe to prepare some king d5 later, but at the same time we have this f5 square, fantastic for the knight. And I'm just afraid that
and maybe even like that, king e4 for the time being stopping king from coming to d5, then king takes, and maybe I'll try if it will happen. Yeah, there king f5, king g6. It's actually well, black no, white has played something else, which was king e4 first. King e4 first, and then black plays g6. So now if you want to create a passed pawn, you have to go h5 immediately, and even so, maybe f5 will be an option for black.
Sometimes it's not only a passed pawn, sometimes it's just a weak pawn.
It's just a weakness, yeah. No, but I was kind of looking at this. If black takes, I mean, probably f5 is a good alternative. So if black takes, goes rook h8, then it's probably not very comfortable. It's, you know, knight d4, some rook c6 threats. Who knows?
Yes, and rook b5 also, knight d4.
Well, the thing is, after g6, black is kind of threatening to go rook h8. I mean, if there is no immediate refutation, it's rook h8, and then
but rook h8
yeah, there is always knight d4, right?
Knight d4 is very unpleasant, it looks like. Because you need to go maybe knight b8, but it's already passive, so...
So black kinda needs to keep those guys. Yeah, it would be nice to get this one to d5, of course. So I'm wondering if I can... Ah, no, it's white to move. No, let's not forget it's white to move. So what white does?
And the both are running short of time already, yes? So
yeah. It's 5 minutes for Shuvalova and only 2 for Kovalevska.
Black, yeah?
I'm surprised that this one is still in progress. I don't really understand what's going on. Rook d8, rook.
Why not?
Check on b6. Once again, the same logic. You cannot lose, so you play for a win. Okay, you enjoy playing. What is king e7? Okay.
Master Concentration, she realizes that any time after rook d6, black can probably simply take and go h4.
Yes.
This was unpleasant discovery problem. Okay. More checks to come.
More checks to come, and then it's...
Sometimes we have this inertia, and just we need to calm down a bit, and then it will be easier to make a draw. So.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we have only one game, which
we have
is really
we have one game in which something can happen. Yeah,
the result is quite open. Yeah.
So G6, Rook D4 was played, kind of offering black a possibility to either go here or go to E7. Maybe in case of King C6, I mean, actually any pawn move makes some sense, because also G5 might be. I'm not sure how good it is, but maybe, you know, G5 and to go to E5. Anyway, King went to E7. Now, what's...
To keep the king closer to the pawn is more logical. Yeah, king on C6 is too far.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see White's next move, to be honest. And I don't really understand what's...
I give a check.
Yeah, check and then come back. Yeah,
it's maybe enough logic to make a move.
Yeah? Yeah. And then to go back, for instance. I mean, some, you know, practical players, they just do this quickly, like check back and without thinking, and then get extra minute. Get extra minute, and maybe actually steal some time from your opponent, who will think, should I repeat, or maybe I have a better move. Not here, apparently.
Because now black has F5 and king F6 maybe in some moments, and just to keep the king together.
For instance, H5, right? Takes. Maybe F5 immediately was good, but even like this, F5, king F6, and looks like this H pawn is more of a weakness. And it's a draw, this endgame, rook endgame for Gira and Nechaeva. So let me see where it is. Just want to see the results in women's section, because I keep forgetting. Ovod lost to Pogonina. Kashlinskaya won against Garyachkina. And all the rest are draws. It was really a thriller. This Bodnaruk against Gritseva was really a thriller. I mean, a lot of, you know, so-called red moves. If you check it on chessbomb, you can see a lot of red moves.
But nobody cares about.
Yeah, but it was entertaining. That's why it's interesting. Okay, so a check, king e7. It turns out White had no special plan here.
Special plan was to ask where do the black kings go. The reply came, and now it's time to rearrange your plans.
King d3.
King d3.
Maybe again the same motive can happen, that these pawns will start to come off, and one day black will, you know, take on b4 and exchange the last pawn. But actually in this game,
no, g5.
G5. She plays g5.
She decided that it's time to be first here, not to wait.
G5.
Okay, obviously maybe she anticipated a 5 move, and she wants just to keep as many pawns as possible. But the decision is quite strange.
Oh wait, do I have to play king f3 or not really? Because f5 is probably a move. Maybe I can do this, so that if rook h8, no, this b5, and I mean, I thought like b5 running somewhere. It's not running anywhere. Not clear at all. Maybe this move, strangely enough. So that if, let's say, if black cooperates, if he takes, then it's b5.
Yeah.
Knight goes back to b8, and then say I goes something like knight to d4 maybe. Still no guarantee that if it's winning, but at least some coordination. At least
I see some knight d7 here, but it's
still nothing goes on. Yeah, nothing goes on.
E5, the material is very limited, so.
And actually I realized that if I want to play rook h8, I might do it now as well. Playing rook h8.
No, she gave a 5 check. Yes.
She gave a check on f5.
She doesn't like to.
So we already understood that it's a very valuable thing to give checks. in this game. White is giving checks, black is giving checks. So that's important. So like 1.5 minutes each. King d3.
But also the tricky thing is that they're both kind of forced to keep the notation, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Still, so you're still losing some focus and you're still losing some time, so...
If for some reason rook h8 is not good, maybe this is the moment where black can actually play knight c7.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's also not a bad idea, because knight on d5 will be just very good.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I think knight b5 is somewhat disturbing, because here it's like the king has to go all the way to e2.
And you can return to some rook h8 ideas.
Yeah, and once again back to h8, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Rook c5, knight d6.
Looks more of a...
Maybe more or less acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
But she
went for the forcing thing. King d3.
Reasoning your ideas.
Rook h8.
Rook h8 is of course a very dubious move to play in a short time. You need to be really sure that this
it's once again interesting. Yeah, you can improve the, let's say, keep the general character of the position, improve the knight from a6 to d5, seemingly. Mm-hmm. Or you can go to some forcing line.
Sometimes psychologically, I think she's tired of just standing on the one
whatever
place.
Happens, let's take some pawns.
Let's activate, let's eat, let's do some actions, yes.
b5 immediately. But I thought this wasn't that great.
You wanted to prepare to cut the knight, yeah? First.
Yeah, but I thought this wasn't that great, but I don't know why. Knight c5 or knight c7? I was actually concerned about knight c7 because it kind of wins the pawn. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, it's knight d5, b7, rook back to b8. So it looks like knight c7, unless I mean some brilliant. No, I don't believe. I mean, like it can't be right. I mean, that's the only thing I can imagine, but of course it's not possible.
Not before.
Should not be possible.
No, I mean, without exchanging knight c6. Maybe this, no? Here.
You mean not to do stupid things. Knight here, knight takes, knight c6. So I will have to do here. Have to go here. Knight check from e5. Rook king d6. Goes here, and rook d6. Yeah. And then this king is.
Knight d5, knight d5, rook d7.
Yes, rook d7 check,
knight d6,
and this is
over.
Finito.
Looks like over, yeah.
This is finito. You can swap the rooks as well, right? And then
okay, white has a good choice here.
Yeah. Now, that's again. I mean, then it's a check. It's better to avoid these things. Okay, but obviously white was winning in this line. Okay, knight c5 played. King went to c4 with the tempo, attacking the knight. Knight to b7. Not the most obvious way to go to d6. Maybe she will keep it on b7 as is. And this is what white has to. I mean, we figured out if the knight gets on e5, it's actually quite dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually quite dangerous.
It's one of the optimal squares.
So now this check, king simply goes forward.
This can be dangerous for black. Knight e4 maybe.
Knight e4 and king b6, c6. And even king b6, yes, even king b6. This is what I thought, yes. This and then just getting this.
To make some mating net. Yes,
yeah, so with knight on e5 and rook on 7th rank. It's, I mean, even if it's a draw, it's
not a draw. No, it should be winning. Even if it's a draw, it's not a draw.
Yeah, exactly. So even if it's a draw, you will lose it. It's a knight b4 and then a check from a5.
That was a big idea.
Clever thing. Yeah, a clever thing to do. So now the king is kicked backward.
Doesn't matter. No, king c3 because I want to have knight d3. If she takes on h4, I want to have knight d3 move.
Okay.
Just to regroup.
If knight takes d3, on h4, no, I can't really see what happens here.
No, that's too brilliant to see.
No, wait. Is it? I mean, is it winning? I don't really...
Rook h1, I don't know, so...
Rook h1, okay, check on d7 maybe first, and this. Still not easy to... why do I give this check? Just let's go... First let's go... Ah, no, then you will force me to go to c7, and I maybe want to... Yeah, I do give this check, and then I go to c4. Still not obvious what happens.
But looks dangerous for black.
Yeah, it looks terribly dangerous with this king.
But anyway, she took on h4 even with the king on d3, so...
King d3 and rook h4.
Yeah, but now same knight c6 looks very dangerous.
Knight c6. Still rook has to
but
go...
But take if maybe he e5, no? Here.
e5?
No,
c7?
It's not possible. c7, rook h8.
Ah, yes, or e4 and rook h8.
Or e4 and yes.
c5, and if I take... Oh wait.
This I don't know, yes. But I thought maybe I choose something, but maybe nothing.
Ah, yeah, it's like in Archiv's h4, right? So we moved the pawn and
I just wanted to have rook d7 and king e6, just know to go back.
Yeah, this is no, it's actually maybe...
This is pretty depressive, but the pawn is a pawn. So.
Ah, yeah, and then maybe now... no, you go to first rank, yeah, that's maybe that's clever. You go to first rank.
Okay, some king c4.
And king c4 and...
King e6 I need to try, yeah?
And then
my only chance is some
this.
activity.
And then this and rook c4 maybe.
Okay, rook h8.
I don't know if it's good or bad. It happens on the board. e5 played by Kovalevsky after this exchange on c6 happened.
Yeah, because psychologically to go rook d7, king e8 is very, very hard to play. It's so bad, so obviously you want to have him active.
I kind of start to believe in White's chances.
But I think she needs to take probably.
Yeah, she needs to take.
Comes with check, so
she needs to take.
It will be a bad turn for White.
Okay, this is lost, obviously, right?
Yeah, this is no way.
This and e6. She takes. Kovalevska is using her last minute. Yeah, she almost made this draw. It's just and knight a5 was kind of still good. Or
I think this is f5, g5, f5 was a bit dubious, I think, for black.
Yeah, she didn't need to.
Here, maybe she could play and put some more resistance because this f5 and rook h8, especially rook h8.
Yeah, maybe still like knight c7, knight d5. She was in time, yes.
Once knight goes to white comes to knight to e5, it's really awful. So.
Okay, fe5.
Yeah, it looks
15 seconds left.
It doesn't matter how much time because she can play a couple of moves quickly and then she'll be back to 1 minute. But obviously she doesn't see how to.
Rook h3 check is usually not the move that helps you in this situation. King c4. Now I wonder if she stops the pawn at all. Yeah. No, that's now it's completely lost. I mean, even if it wasn't, now I'm sure after rook h3, it's.
Oh, basically with such a
maybe there is no difference actually.
Such a weak king for black, it should be probably lost.
Rook h1, yeah. And now, don't even know what. I mean.
Still, in the rooking games, you can always go wrong. So we should just try to see. But obviously, she wanted to go rook h1. It was more logical to go with this at once, not asking him to come closer.
So, what Shavalova is going to play? King c5? Checks are not very clever, similarly. Rook d6, one might think.
Rook d6, yeah.
Rook d6, I mean...
Standard greedy move.
Greedy move, exactly. So this is what I wanted to say. So that I will be forced with the king to c7, I will take the pawn, put the rook on f6, and then we'll end up actually playing with one pawn remaining, which is on c6, and black king is in the wrong side from this pawn.
I think she played rook d3 just.
She played rook to d3. Rook to d3. Okay.
What is this, red?
Not sure. Black plays. Black plays here. Now c7, rook c1. Yes, already a draw.
She wants maybe rook c3.
Rook c3 now.
And even king e5. c7, rook h8.
Ah, yeah. King e5, c7, rook goes back. King has to go forward in order to win the rook. Yes, then it's rook c8.
But then she will be drawing something.
c8.
King e4.
Here. Oh, king e4.
Or f4, and then just to push the pawn.
This. King is still close. King is still close. Might be winning still, right? Now white is spending his last minute. Now that's rook d3 was also a bit too soft. Maybe this is the move, strangely enough. Maybe this is the... I don't understand what does this move do, but...
You want to say that black is in a Superfinal?
Kind of.
I doubt so.
Rook h2.
I don't know, but... I don't believe in such a Superfinals.
No, I probably want to play rook c3 now. With king on d4. I think she gave a check.
Check?
Not sure. No, she went rook c3, sorry. She went rook c3. And now we said king e5 seems to be...
e5 is a possible attempt, yeah.
Seems to be a chance. At least... rook h8... is more or less the same, right?
More or less.
More or less the same. King d4 might win a tempo or not? Not really. No, nothing. I mean, I spent 2 moves, black spends 2 moves. No, it's precisely the same. King b5. Alright, black takes. c7, so we will have this.
But maybe instead of rook c8, maybe just to start.
Ah, you mean
here, not to
c7, because yeah, rook c8, it's...
Not to invite the king to...
Not clear if it helps, yes. c7, and then to play something. Like... No, but king f4, I'm sure it's lost. I'm sure it's lost, because...
The king
takes...
is close, yeah?
Takes, yes, takes, and you go here already.
It's hard to believe that, yes.
Yeah, king is on its way to f1, right? So if king f4 is lost, then maybe this? c8, but it's same, right? c8 takes, king f5, king is coming. I'm fine with king coming. Yeah, check on c5 was also. But yeah, this d3 too.
Not enough.
Well, so she is winning. Perhaps not in the most convincing way, but she is finally winning. Rook c8 was played and king c6. Maybe this is the better version actually. Maybe this is a better version because king will be on b7 or d7. So let's say she will come back to the same idea. She will move the rook and take only on c8. He'll take only on c8, so it's still a chance. This is one of those positions when you have an engine running, it will say tell you in a second. Will tell you, okay, white is winning or black makes a draw. Decision to take on c7. Wait, but this is winning. This is winning easily. I guess I will just keep the g5 pawn alive, right? This I go. Where do I go? How do I make it? Go here. If f. I mean, I want to go king f6 when the king is moving. So this is probably. So that is a possible thing. This.
Rook f1.
Rook f1, yeah.
Take rook f2, but it should be winning, right?
Yeah, that's.
The king is very, very close. So.
Yeah. And it's not like a king f6 on next move just wins the pawn completely. And this is what happens. f3, and now king e7 wins. I guess it's not the only move to win. I guess it's not the only move to win.
Still, white needs to be precise.
Has to be a bit careful. King e7 played.
Just as you said.
Nothing could be done, yeah. f3. This probably wins as well.
Rook c6 maybe also wins.
Yeah.
There's too many moves wins.
Too many moves to win. Now king e7, f2 played, which forces f3, king e7, f2, that forces rook f1, king to f5, and rook f1 is rook f1 wins the game. Rook f2, no doubt anymore. It's a very strange endgame. First looked winning, then looked like black cut chances, then winning again, then. Is it always like this with endgames? One last trick or not really? No tricks.
Just enjoying.
G3, G4, G5, G3. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Shuvalova wins. And is it her? I don't remember. That could be her first victory in this tournament. She had.
I have no idea.
She had few promising positions, but I remember it could be that that's her first victory in this tournament. So round 8 has finally finished. Well, it was quite long. So far, never been a short round. It's interesting because
why do we want a short round?
No, but what I remember, what I remember from the history, let's say, of Superfinals, like couple of last years, I'm commentating here, and there is always a day where after the first time control, the round will be finished. I mean, in both all 12 games, so there should be one round like that.
Okay.
It's seems like a law already. Can't really find, but we do remember the result. The most important results are Gunina makes a draw and Pogonina wins, so she catches up.
Still no changes in the top of the field.
So it's Gunina and Pogonina in the lead in the women's section, and everything the same in the men's section.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is going to be around 9, same time, 3 p.m. here in St. Petersburg, Russia. So please tune in. London Classics finishes today. So tomorrow, guys, you are free to watch our show.
To watch some real chess. Yeah.
I hope Alexander will be kind to co-host. To co-host this show with me tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Федеральная сетевая компания ЕНС «Россия» стала надежным партнером бизнеса и государства в реализации ключевых проектов в реальном секторе экономики. Повышение эффективности деятельности, сокращение издержек – это естественная задача для менеджмента компании, независимо от внешней конъюнктуры. Благодаря этой работе наша компания стала более финансово устойчива, высвободились средства для реконструкции и развития электросетей, для выплаты дивидендов акционерам.